Yo, what's up? It's Jason. Today, here we are. The Bboy Leanski, right? Yeah.
Bboy Leanski, Flow Lords crew, Flavor Squad family.
Whoa. Right. Your brother, can you introduce your crew, yourself, and talk about more your story?
Okay. Name of my crew is called the Flow Lords. Been together 32 years. We actually came from two different crews. A crew called MBT, which was called Massachusetts Break Team, Mass Break Team, which was a hidden crew. New York Puppeteers was me, my brother, this guy named Tony Mosby, and another kid named Tyrone Sutton. Basically, my background comes from my cousins. They were from out of the Bronx. I'm originally from New York. I'm from Long Island. They used to come up to Boston when we first moved up here. Yeah, like kind of like teachers when we were kids. My cousin's name was Eddie and Chino. They were from a crew called shit, I forgot the name of the crew. Damn, I forgot the name of the crew. Like they wasn't really dancing for long. Like their crew, they wasn't like they really didn't take it serious at all. Like they just danced for a little bit and then they quit. You know what I'm saying? Like they started going to school. One became a cop. You know, so basically the interest wasn't big. It wasn't until later, because me and my brother would practice it. When they would come up, we would practice. That would be the only time we would practice. I was like about 8. My brother was like 7. That was the only time we would practice at all, like when they came up. And then we actually started popping. You know what I'm saying? Because popping was on Soul Train, so we started watching Soul Train. There was another crew from Boston that were really good. That was basically the Boston inspiration of dance. They were more like a popping and locking crew called the Funk Effects. And those guys, we actually seen them at a block party, and this thing they used to call Summer Thing, and they actually performed on stage, on this big stage, and we seen them perform, and right there, that just caught our eye. I was about 9, my brother was about 8. About that time. So then we started like going to visit them and go practice with them. So when I was like about 11, we actually moved from Dorchester, because we used to live in Dorchester when we first moved up here from New York. We moved to Dorchester, and then Dorchester we moved to the South End. The South End was more of a hip hop like community. They was like DJs, they were rappers. There were actually other people that lived in New York, or that were from New York, that moved to the South End. This guy named Rusty and this guy named Reggie. So they had one of them was a DJ. Actually, they both were DJs. One of them used to rap. Reggie used to rap. And we used to just hang out with them because they was more into the whole hip hop community. Like we was back and forth going to New York, going to visit my family in New York. So they were more intense with the hip hop community. Like they were, they were hip hop at the time. They used to do tags. We started tagging with them. Then we started doing graffiti. At the time, like hip hop was growing. It was like people did more than just one element of the dance. You know what I'm saying? Of the culture. You know what I'm saying? We did like a bunch of different things. So we started doing tags. Then we started DJing. My brother got into seriously like doing like graffiti, like real graffiti. I would just come in and just help him shade. I really didn't have the time or the patience. I would do it more on paper and in books and shit. But I just didn't have the patience to. Plus, I wasn't a good thief. He used to go steal all the cans. And I was just like, I ain't trying to do all that. I ain't trying to chance that. But he was just crazy. He was actually more talented than me in all kind of ways. He was a better dancer, better graffiti artist, better DJ. He used to rap in Spanish and English. His name is Nas, N-O-Z. That's what he used to write. So after that, we actually did an audition. We bumped into MBT. At this audition, they were like, "Yo, you guys are dope." I was about 11 at the time, and we did more like popping and breaking. So we would do like popping routines, and then do solos breaking. They just used to do break. They used to just do solos. They were like hitters. They would dance on the street. They never did shows. They just would hit on the street.
Get some money.
They asked us to go and hit with them after the audition. They were like, "Yo, you guys want to go make some money?" We said, "What money?" Like at the time, making money was like selling drugs. So we were like, "Hold on, what you talking about?" Nah, come on, follow us. Went to Park Street Station. In like 10 minutes, it was like 5 of them. They made like $50 a piece. We were like, "We're in." You know, it was like, you know, we started hanging out more often. It was like 1981. We started hanging out a lot more. Like that whole year, we started going to different places, going to State Street to hit, going to Faneuil Hall to hit. You know, then like a year later, my brother, since we started making money, my brother and him started hanging out with, you know, like all the troublemakers around my neighborhood. I lived close to the projects, Lennox projects. So they started making money. They started smoking, drinking with the older crowd. I was more into the dance more. So I was into making money. You know, I was making money doing something I loved to do. You know, so I started hanging out with them more. You know, started chilling with them more, and then they were like, "Yo, you know, you should get down with us. You know, just be MBT." And I was like, at the time, it was like really about being loyal. It's like a loyalty type of thing. So I was like, nah, you know, if we start something new, you know, and get new members. Because at the time, some of them guys were just like doing it for the money. They weren't serious. We started getting more serious. We started traveling to New York, going to block parties and things like that. Because a couple of those guys were from New York, so we started going to New York. And then, you know, I was more serious about dancing than some of the other guys were. And I was like, let's start something new, you know. And then they said, cool. The guy Cisco and Mad, who started the crew, basically, you know, said, all right, we'll start something new. We'll become more serious. And then they just came up with the name Floor Lords. And I was like, oh shit, dope. And then we started like training kids. And what I did was I kind of like brought in the routine element of the shit. Because me and my brother, we came from that element. Like we started practicing with the Funk Effects, which was you know, the first, you know, people to inspire us in the dance as a group. You know what I'm saying? So I was inspired by that. But then, you know, it was less popping, I mean, and it was more breaking. So I started making up breaking routines, and then we just became a team. You know, ever since then, we just, you know, grew. What I would do, my part of the job was actually like bringing new kids in. So I would go to all the different neighborhoods, teach kids, inspire kids, and teach them. And that's how all the generations of the Floor Lords came up. It's basically through me, you know, just going to different neighborhoods or just kids seeing us perform and coming to our practice spot and just learning from us. And that's how, you know, the whole thing came about. Plus my own family, my nephew Flight and Jay Quest were the first ones, you know, from my family to start. Then came my son, El Nino, and my other nephew, Gyro.
Yeah. So, I know you have a lot of students in the big name Bboy, like your son, Ding Rock.
Yeah, Lee.
Yeah, and the El Nino, Camel, What's your opinion about your how to teach the people?
I mean, for me, like, I'm more, you know, I could say, you know, all those guys, like, I've actually inspired a lot of people. I'm not gonna say, like my son and my nephew, like I actually taught those guys, like from the start. Like K-Mel had a different teacher. Quick Step taught him a lot of stuff. He also was taught by the Breeze team, by the Float Committee, you know what I'm saying? So he had, you know, a whole bunch of things. I just kind of like molded him, inspired him, and kind of like taught him like certain things, you know what I'm saying? Like certain things that he didn't know about, you know, that other people didn't teach him. I was more around, like I was around Incredible Breakers, which I got to see a lot of things that people didn't get to see in the 80s. You know, I seen like Chino, Brian, Float, Awesome Paul, Nasty Ness, Peanut, Kid Freeze. Like, I grew up around these guys. In 1983, we actually got into a battle with Incredible Breakers. And they basically schooled the shit out of us. Like, we they actually burned the hell out of us, like in this battle. These guys, because we used to go to New York all the time, and then what happened was when we would go to New York, there wouldn't be that many B-boys out there. Like there would be B-boys, but they wasn't that good. You know what I'm saying? So we would go to the Roxy, we would go to the Fun House, and there would be B-boys in there, but you know, at the time, at our level, we were pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were pretty good. So they weren't better than us, but we weren't better than them. You know what I'm saying? So it was like we were, like, going to New York. We were thinking, like, yo, New York ain't that much better than us, you know, because we were practicing every day. We were dancing the street every day. So we felt like, yo, you know, we're, like, ill. You know what I'm saying? Actually, Providence had a big scene, too. Providence had a huge scene. They had a crew called DMC. They had a crew called TMC. They had a crew called Furious Rockers. They had a couple other crews. I can't remember their names. Return to Burn. A bunch of these different crews out here, which were pretty ill at the time. And we used to come out here, you know, and get down with those guys. Like, I used to come and hang out with TMC all the time. You know what I'm saying? So they were like the closest to New York. So when we started coming here, we started kind of like not getting better than them, but we just wanted to be better as dancers. So we started traveling to New York. Like I said, we felt we were better at the time. You know what I'm saying? Than a lot of people. So our heads started growing. We started getting all big-headed and shit. And we were like, yo, we're going to New York. We're rocking in New York. At the time, we were the best crew in Boston. So we kind of like, a couple of the members of my crew were like, you know, like hard-headed, heavy, you know, into battling. They were always, they had like these attitudes. I was like, all right, whatever. You know, it's cool. So what happened was, you know, some of the other members, some of the other guys, not members, other guys who didn't really like us, found out that we were going to New York. So what happened was they started going to New York. They wasn't getting better, but they actually bumped into Chino and Flo at this club, at the Fun House. And then they actually said, yo, come to Boston, we got some shows happening. Just come up to Boston with us. So at the time, what we didn't know was all the good groups like Rocksteady, New York City Breakers, Magnificent Force, Furious Rockers, like a lot of these other crews were actually traveling, like overseas. So we didn't know. We were going to New York, you know, all the time. So we didn't know, you know, that these dudes was overseas. So we were just like, well, they probably quit. You know, they got these other breakers, because at those times, like, dancers would come in and out all the time. Like, you would be a dancer, would come in 1 month later and it'd be over. So, you know, we kind of like thought that's how it was. Oh, they just made a movie, they're gone. There's no more of this shit going on. You know, the breaking died or something, because we felt that way. And then they actually brought Flo and Chino to Boston, and they brought them to our club. We had a club we used to hang out at called Club California, and we was like the main dancers at the club. So what happened was they would rope off a circle for us, and they would just play. It was just for us. Could nobody go on the cypher? Could nobody go on that cypher but us? So all of a sudden they rope off the cypher. They're like, all right, floor lords, do y'all thing. So we go to the middle of the floor. We're about to rock, and then other dudes with the other guys from Boston started jumping over the line. So that was battle time right there. But we didn't know like Chino and Flo. We never seen them. You know what I'm saying? So we were like, you know, oh, these dudes from Boston. Like these dudes jumping over our cypher. Oh, it's a battle. So it was on. So we started battling, and at the time, man, like some of those guys went out, and we were just like, what? And then I remember Cisco, who was at the time, he was one of the best in our crew. Like, he had fast windmills, fast backspins. He went out and did windmills, like fast windmills, no hand windmills. And we were like, yeah. And then Flo comes out. This is like 1983. You know what I'm saying? Like, this summertime 1983. He comes out and he does fast windmills to tracks, to like a chair freeze or something, some type of freeze. And we're like, oh shit, what the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? We've never seen tracks before in our lives. We're like, oh shit, what the hell was that? So then one of the other kids, he's from Providence, his name was Archie. We used to call him Archie Love. He goes out, he used to have like super fast windmills. He goes out and does fast windmills to headspins. It goes down, and Chino goes out and just was a blur. He just went out and just did windmills, the tracks, the headspins, all kind. We were just like all we seen was he did windmills, and his legs was open, and he went straight up. It looked like a one-shot. Like, that's how fast he was going in his windmills, and he went straight up and went straight up. And all we seen like was he had on white Adidas shell toes, and all we seen was a white like big circle. And then he went right back down, and landed in the freeze in front of me. Like, yo, what the hell was that? Then they just kept on going out. We had another little kid named Sixpack in our crew. He went out and did flares, you know, went and did some stuff. And then he basically, Float went out and started doing like all kind of shit. Like, I know he went to headspins and just stayed on the headspins.
Battery's almost died. It's almost.
You know, he started doing headspins, and all of a sudden he just did mad headspins. Did headspins all kind of ways. That's the first time I've ever seen headspins like that ever done. We had another kid in our crew from Providence. His name was Noli, who had headspins. Like, Noli had like, you know, like 490s to like 4 elbows of windmills. Back then, that didn't even count. Like,
that didn't even count.
We didn't even, like, Chino came out and did about 6, 790s. Like it was just amazing. Like, the swipes, like, these dudes were just doing so much stuff back then that we never even seen. We didn't even know like breaking went that far. You know what I'm saying? And the whole thing was they were doing everything with style, footwork, flavor. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like they was just doing like moves. Like, you know, one of my biggest inspirations was Ken Swift, and I'm not saying as far as a dance because I was already dancing, but when I first seen Ken Swift, actually made me realize like what style was about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to see people break, and I never like got to see like anything about style. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see somebody breaking, and I would just see that person breaking. That's all it was to me. Like, all right, he's breaking. You know what I'm saying? When I first seen him like break, you know what I'm saying? Which it was in a couple of different, like, I seen him break in Flash Dance, you know what I'm saying? Which really didn't show me a lot, you know what I'm saying? But when I seen Wild Style was when I understood, like, yo, this is style right here. This is what style is about. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like I just knew I had to do something else to look better. You know what I'm saying? So we started practicing in front of mirrors and looking at how the stylish thing was. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for me, that was a big thing. So when we seen those guys, and them guys were like dancing up top and doing like floor rocking, you know. That's another thing. Back in the days, we called everything rocking. Like, it wasn't like the only thing that was a separate dance was popping and locking. But for us, breaking was just rocking. Like, anything we did was just rocking. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we went to make money. If somebody was like doing really well, like people say going off, or we would call him, oh, yo, he's rocking. Like, if he's going off like breaking, oh, he's rocking. If he's going off on popping, yo, he's rocking right there. So everything was rocking. So it was like floor rock, top rock, up rock. That's all it was. And if you were really good at that moment, and you was really like, we caught you at a moment, and you was rocking. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was to us. So, you know, we seen people like doing certain shit, so we were like, yo. So we was like, yo, he's rocking super like ill flavor right there. So that's how, you know, we came up with, you know, trying to learn that. But they were like rocking just flavor, rocking it all. So we were just like, yo. So then we became friends after that. We started going back to New York, and then we actually bumped into Flo and another member of that crew, Ness. And then we became friends. We started inviting them up because we were doing a lot of shows. We started inviting them up. At the time, Breaker was kind of like dying in New York. Actually, that crew, a lot of their crew members were kind of like Chino had a kid. Brian, you know, had a kid we didn't know about at the time. You know what I'm saying? So they were kind of like taking care of business more. They were kind of like not falling apart, but they weren't together all the time. So they were used to touring. At the time, the touring scene was dying down. So they decided to come to Boston, do some shows. You know, it was all about making money. And then plus, like, we had a bunch of girls, you know, in Boston, like mad colleges. We had a bunch of girls, you know. They was making money out in the street every day. We was making like $250 a day. And it'd be like 12 members. You know, so you're like 13, 14 years old, you know, at the time, like, all that was dying down in New York, so they started coming up to Boston. They started staying with me, staying with Cisco, you know, and my mom was mad cool. Like, she would let people stay in my house for like 2-3 months sometimes, you know what I'm saying? So they started staying with us, we started making money, and I started going to New York and staying with them for like 2 months. I would stay with Flo for like 2 months, you know what I'm saying? We would just keep flip-flopping, just doing that all the time. And then I started practicing incredible breakers. You know, at the time, them dudes was just so ill. Like, I really couldn't really pick up a lot of the stuff they were doing because they were just amazing. Like, so I used to practice with Peanut. He was the one, he had a hurt wrist, so I would practice more with him. And Ness. Ness was also incredible. Nasty Ness, his name was Nasty Ness. He was amazing. He taught me a lot of stuff, like showed me a lot of different stuff. You know, I seen like so much amazing stuff, you know, like elbow tracks, all kind of different things. Like actually the I don't know what they call them, but because that's another thing. Back in the days, we had no names for nothing. We just did the shit. You know what I'm saying? So like those windmills where you actually do windmills and do a twist and go back into windmills. He's the first one I ever seen. Ness used to do that. Tracks, hollow backs. Like, I seen hollow backs. That was just a freeze in 1983. You know what I'm saying? From Incredible Breakers.
Yeah.
So people look at a lot of those movies, they look at it and be like, oh, yo, like this is, you know, this is a move. That was a freeze back then. You know what I'm saying? And that's how long they've been doing it. Yo, I want to send a shout out to Rebel Media, TV, Jason. In the place right here, seeing all the jams out here. Peace, man. Keep doing your thing, bro.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.